You know, when we think about what goes into making our high-tech world, we usually picture rare metals, complex code, that kind of thing. But what if I told you the most critical component is completely invisible? It's the air. And we're about to see how one company's mastery over the air we breathe is the secret behind, well, pretty much everything.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is the single biggest threat to a state-of-the-art factory? The kind that's churning out semiconductors or the next generation of EV batteries? Is it a cyber attack, a supply chain mess? Nope. It's something way, way more common, and honestly, a lot more destructive if you don't control it.
Believe it or not, it's moisture. A single tiny drop of water, or even just the humidity that's in the air right now. In these incredibly sensitive manufacturing environments, a little bit of moisture isn't just a pain, it's a total process killer. It can shut down production and end up costing millions.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down today. First, we'll look at this invisible enemy up close. Then, we'll get into a game-changing honeycomb technology, see the whole arsenal of tools built around it, visit the crazy environments where it's used, and finally, figure out why one company, Seibu Giken, is leading the charge.
Okay, let's dive right into the core problem here. Why is something as simple as humidity such a huge deal for modern industry? Well, the stakes are just incredibly high.
I mean, just think about lithium-ion batteries. They literally power our entire electric future. Well, the raw lithium inside them is so reactive it can actually burst into flames if it touches even the tiniest trace of moisture in the air. So this isn't about just, keeping things kind of dry. This is about achieving a level of atmospheric control that's almost surgically precise. In this world, controlling moisture, it's not a nice to have. It is absolutely fundamental.
So when you're facing a challenge that extreme, you're going to need a solution that is just as radical. And this is where Seibu Giken came in and completely rewrote the rules for industrial dehumidification. This right here, this is the turning point. As true pioneers, Seibu Giken developed the world's very first silica gel honeycomb rotor. And in doing that, they didn't just make a better dryer. They invented the heart of the modern desiccant dehumidifier and set a brand new standard for the entire world. The absolute genius of this honeycomb design comes down to three things. First, air flows through it really easily, so it saves a ton of energy. Second, it's super light, but also really strong. But this third part, this is what's mind-blowing. It crams a massive 4,800 square meters of surface area into just 1 cubic meter. To put that in perspective, that's almost the size of an American football field, all coiled up inside a box. It's a gigantic trap for moisture. So how does this magic honeycomb actually work? Well, it's this really elegant continuous cycle. Moist air comes in, and the silica gel on that huge surface area basically grabs all the water molecules. What comes out the other side is perfectly dry air. Now, as the rotor slowly turns, a separate stream of hot air passes through the part that's now full of water, and that heat forces the moisture back out so it can be vented away. The cycle just keeps on going 24/7, giving you a super stable, uninterrupted flow of ultra-dry air. But of course, innovation never stops, right? Building on that incredible honeycomb rotor, Seibu Giken developed a whole arsenal of air control tech, constantly evolving the materials to meet tougher and tougher demands. It all started with silica gel, which is the original workhorse, fantastic for most industrial jobs. But for the really extreme stuff, they needed more firepower. So through a ton of R&D, they started using zeolite in their rotors. Think of zeolite as a molecular cage that's way more aggressive at grabbing and holding on to water molecules. It's the key to creating those insane, ultra-low humidity conditions you need for making batteries and semiconductors. And all this core tech gets packaged into an awesome product lineup. Basically, a toolkit with a solution for every problem. You've got the DST series, which is your go-to for general moisture prevention. The SGP series kicks it up a notch, getting you to a lower dew point. That's the temperature at which air becomes saturated, perfect for things like drying booths. And then you have the top tier, the SSP and SZP series. These are the big guns, using the advanced materials to reach ridiculously low dew points for the most critical jobs on the planet. Okay, so now let's go to where this tech really proves itself. These extreme manufacturing environments. We're talking about places where a single stray dust particle or water molecule can completely destroy a multi-million-dollar batch of product. Just let this number sink in for a second. Negative 90 degrees Celsius dew point. That is an almost unbelievably dry environment. It's like taking the driest desert air on Earth, making it even drier, and putting it inside a factory.
This is the elite level of performance that the SSP and SDP series can deliver, and frankly, it's what makes modern electronics possible.
And here, you can see the connection so clearly. On the left, you've got the core technology, that powerful SZR zeolite rotor. And on the right, the product it makes possible, the lithium-ion batteries that are in everything. Every single battery that comes off a production line with the right performance and the right safety, it owes its very existence to this level of environmental control. It's the exact same story for semiconductors. That original honeycomb idea is fundamental. That massive clean surface area isn't just about trapping water anymore. It's about maintaining a completely pristine environment. This technology is the bedrock of the clean rooms where the computer chips that run our entire digital world are born. And this brings up a really important point. Seibu Giken doesn't just sell you a dehumidifier in a box. They provide what they call total engineering. That means they design and build the entire controlled environment, combining their core tech with filtration, precise airflow management, you name it, to deliver a complete, guaranteed solution. So all of this leads to a pretty simple question. In a world full of competitors, why do so many of the biggest companies on Earth turn to Seibu Giken? What is their secret sauce? Well, you really just need to look at who they work with. We're talking about the absolute titans of industry: Toyota, Samsung, Intel, TSMC, GM, BMW, Honda. These companies do not mess around. They rely on Seibu Giken because for them, failure is simply not an option. So when you put it all together, their advantage becomes crystal clear. They were the pioneers of the core technology itself. They're still leading with constant R&D. They offer performance that is just unmatched, like that negative 90-degree C dew point. They provide total engineering support, not just a product. And their global track record of reliability speaks for itself. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Controlling humidity is never, ever just about getting rid of water. It's really about protecting a process, guaranteeing quality, and ultimately enabling the next wave of innovation. So the real question isn't just, is the room dry? It's, is my entire process truly protected?